The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you for joining our webinar today. My name is Tony Butler. I'm the Life Sales Director here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. And I have John Entingh on the line as well. He's one of our top producers. And today's webinar is going to be going over NGL's product. So before we get started, I'd like to go over a couple of housekeeping items. You're going to be in listen-only mode at the end of our webinar. I'm going to open it up for a few questions that you can type in, and we'll try to answer those questions as quickly as possible. So to start off here, with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, we understand that referral is a big part of your business as an agent. It is also a big part of our business as well. So any agent that you do refer to us and they do get contracted with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, we will pay you a $50 referral bonus. Now, any subsequent business that they write through IAMS, you do get 20 basis points on that business. So please be sure to give me a call for information or additional information on that. Next, for new producers, if we have producers, just want to make sure that we're showing screen here. Okay, all right. Apologize. Here we had a little glitch here with showing the screen. Looks like it should be shown now. John, can you see the screen on your end?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Good to go.
All right. All right, so new producers. So if you are a new producer, which means that you've gotten appointed with one of our carriers, the first 180 days, we do offer some bonuses for you. We have three different levels. We have the $100,000, $300,000, and $500,000 level. If you produce $100,000 worth of premium, you can get a $750 cash bonus, 2-year producer website, or an iPad. If you want to bypass that $100,000 level and go to the $300,000 level, we do provide Social Security program mailing piece, marketing reimbursement, or a $1,500 gift card. Now, if you think that you're going to really go gangbusters in that first 180 days and you want to hit that $5,000 level, we do offer a $5,000 and a $4,000 piece mailer, depending on what you want, with either Matt Gill or Dave Pimper. They're also two of our top producers, or you can leverage that for a Ritz-Carlton travel package. If you have any questions regarding that, again, feel free to give me a call. Next, I want to point out here at IAMS, we do offer back office support. So we like to help you work smarter, not harder. So we offer assistance from the time that we do case designs, doing proposals, illustration, quotes, what have you, all the way up until you submit the application till you have an issued policy. So we do have business building tools and resources for you. Again, we do help you with case design. There are forms at your fingertips on our website. We provide life and annuity quotes as far as term, universal life, whole life, you name it on the life side. And as well on the annuity side. We also offer paperless contracting because you as agents know there's a lot of paperwork that is needed in submitting appointment paperwork. So once you do get appointed with one of the carriers through IAMS, we do offer paperless contracting. So any additional carriers that you would like to get appointed with, all you need to do is call in and request that, and then we can get that submitted for you. Next, I want to mention that we do have a creative solutions a marketing team. Jacob and his team do a great job of assisting you with building your brand, whether it's on the digital solution side for personal website or digital marketing strategies to agency solutions such as getting business cards, a logo design, or you want stationery, or maybe you do have a logo and then you want to update the logo. We can help you with that. There's a lot of turnkey solutions available to you. Just reach out and talk to Jacob on that, and his team would be more than happy to help you with that. Now, our IAMS website offers a lot of tools for you. We have excellent sales tools available. We have a term quota for life insurance as well as universal life. You can get forms online, whether it be application or specific product information forms that you need. We do provide a long-term care product grid, annuity grid, and current annuity news. So please don't hesitate to visit our website, and that's www.iamsinc.com. We also offer a retirement analyzer. Marcus Solar, who is one of our annuity directors, he kind of is a subject matter expert on this particular analyzer. Now, we do offer our agents a 30-day free trial. Anything after the 30 days, if you submit at least $250,000 in annuity production or $250,000 in single premium life production, we do offer the website to you free of charge. Now, with this retirement analyzer, it can answer some questions for your clients, such as, can I continue my present standard of living into retirement years? When can I retire without running out of money? And how would it affect my family if I die prematurely? If you'd like to get some additional information in regards to the retirement analyzer, please feel free to reach out to Marcus Solar, and he can provide you with some additional information. We also have an IAMS wealth management team. That team has been, I think, since inception, so it's been about 2 years now. So that team can help you help your clients increase revenue, improve client retention, strengthen client relationships with you. You can reach out to either Joan, Mike, or Charles Jr., and they can help you out with that. We also offer free of charge Life and Annuity Academy. This academy we have about once a quarter, and the academy is for agents. We pay for your travel, your food and lodging, and what we try to do here is discuss sales ideas and sales strategy. We do have some of our top producers speak on certain insurance concepts and insurance ideas and strategies that can grow your business. If you want to get some additional information on our Life and Annuity Academy, we do have a polling question here. If you could just respond to that. So let me get this out to you here. So I'll wait a few minutes. And I still have some people answering, so we'll give it a few minutes. Still voting here, so. Okay. All right, we'll close that down. Also, the IAMS Wealth Management. If you would like to get some additional information on that, I've got a polling question there for you on that. If you can go ahead and answer that for me, and we can get some additional information out to you for those of you that would like to get more materials on that. So I'll keep this open for a few seconds longer. A few more of you go ahead and respond. Okay, we'll go ahead and close that down. And lastly, we have a 2019 Marketing Summit that will be August 25th through the 29th. It will be in Naples, Florida. We have quite a few agents that have already qualified for this trip. The invitational period started January 1st of 2018, and it goes all the way through January 30th of this year. You are eligible to attend this with any combination of whether it be $3 million in annuity premium, 1.5 in Medicare supplement premium, 2.25 single premium life, 250,000 in life target premium, or 600,000 in long-term care premium. So if you have any questions about if you're close to qualifying, or you need some more information as far as how to qualify, please don't hesitate to give me a call. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to John. So John, you still there?
I'm here. Good morning.
Okay. So let me send this over to you to make you the presenter. And then I'll let you get started.
All right. Can you see everything? Perfect.
Okay. Do you have it?
Yep.
Okay.
Looks like we're good. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for attending on what I'm sure is a busy Monday morning. Before we get started, I just want to make sure everybody understands that I am in the field. I have a practice here in Columbus, Ohio. So I'm out working daily with clients just as you are. And I think that's important to know, because this isn't coming from a home office perspective. I'm actually out there working with the same clients that you are. And I'd like to certainly take this opportunity, if you haven't been introduced to National Guardian Life, to tell you about the opportunity that exists for them with new and existing clients. So what we'll do today is we'll talk about the opportunities. You know, there's a huge marketplace out there, and there's the opportunity that presents itself can be quite large. We'll talk about the trusts that are used to fund this, to hold the funds in this program. We'll talk about the product that we use to put the money into to give the protection. And then I'll give you some presentation ideas and tools, and we'll talk about the company itself, National Guardian Life, and what they bring to you as an agent. So the opportunity itself was brought to me about 15 years ago by a mentor of mine in this business. At the time, I knew nothing about National Guardian Life. I didn't know what a funeral expense trust was or how it could play into my practice. But as I went through understanding it with him, he told me that if I would just take the time to learn it and start talking to clients about it, that we could be really successful with it. And again, here we are sitting 15 years later sharing this opportunity with agents across the country. So the opportunity is great as long as you capitalize on it, and I'll give you some ideas on how you can implement that into your practice. You know, we're all in the planning business, you know, and it takes planning is required to get anything done in life. And it's not just going to happen. You know, we sit down and meet with our clients, whether we're talking about income planning, retirement planning, long-term care planning. We're considering all the options for them. We're presenting a plan to them to take care of the need that they've expressed, and then we've got to show them where to get the funds to be able to implement that plan. And as we go through here, I'll show you an easy way to point that out to the client and transition them into the National Guardian Life. You know, funeral and final expenses aren't any different than any of the other planning that we do. It's just that a lot of times this gets overlooked by advisors. But the reality is that someone at some time is going to have to determine the services and pay the bill for their spouse or for their parents. And that question becomes who and when is that going to get done? And there's two options. The deceased can do it prior to death so they can get their affairs in order and make it easy on their family, or it can be left to the survivors afterwards. And that's really kind of my personal story on this. I'll share it with you. I'm the youngest of 5 children. My mom and dad divorced when I was 2 years old. I've always been the entrepreneur of the family, never really super close with my dad because of when they divorced when I was young. But my dad passed away on January 21st of 2011, and I found myself sitting in a funeral director's office. And I was getting asked questions like, what was your dad's mother's maiden name? What was his favorite flower, his favorite hymn, his highest rank in the military? And I had to tell him, slow down. I don't know the answers to these questions. I wasn't that close with my father. And so while my father and I never had a discussion on how to get this implemented and taken care of, what it made me realize was that all these years that I'd been doing this for my clients, that I had really done something great for their family, because they weren't going to be in this position that I was put into back in 2011. So there's a couple different ways to get this done. NGL offers a couple different choices. You can plan and pay for the funeral, which is on the pre-need side. So you can go into a funeral home, and you've heard your clients say that they've went in and prepaid their funeral. Or you can show them a better alternative, which is to pay for the anticipated expenses by putting the money aside today and getting that money protected from a long-term care stay. So, we ask our clients this question: how much do they think a traditional funeral costs? We hear everything all over the board from $5,000 to $20,000, but the reality is, for a full funeral service, it's approaching $15,000. There's a lot of things that go into that, a lot of costs for the funeral, and your clients aren't aware of that. So we like to tell them that, and tell them that, you need to have these funds designated to make sure that they're there when you pass away. That's the one part of planning we do that's a definite. I don't know if my clients are ever going to turn their income rider on. Their situations may change, but I do know that they're going to pass away at some point, and this is a great plan to give them that protection. And don't be afraid to ask them, if something happened to you yesterday, how would your funeral be paid for today? And then listen to that answer, because you're going to hear all different answers across the board, and that is going to be your starting point of where to recommend they get the money from later on in the conversation. I can tell you it's on people's mind. The national survey thought 72% thought it was a good idea to pre-plan, but 64% had not taken the steps to do so. And our theory on that is this: we don't think a husband and a wife wake up on a beautiful sunny morning and look at each other and say, hey, let's go down and pick our caskets out today. They just don't do that. They know they need to get it done, but they don't take the steps to do it. And your clients aren't any different. I'm working in the same space that you're working in. The difference is, here at Entingh Financial Services, we ask every single client, have you prepaid your funeral? It's a yes or no question, and then that gives us the opportunity to help move them in the right direction. So this market is huge. If you're in this business and you're in it for the long term, you've got to be really excited, because over the next 20 years, 80 million people are expected to file for Social Security benefits. And to me, that is a lot of prospects that we're going to have out there. And then by 2025, there'll be almost twice as many seniors as there are today. So there, if you can get this down and you can have this in your package when you talk to your clients, it'll serve you well, not only today, but also moving into the future. 69% of all Americans older than 65 are going to need nursing care. I think we've all seen that statistic. And the national average cost of long-term care is between $82,000 and $92,000 per year, and that is increasing, that cost. And so when we talk to our clients, we'll start and we'll ask them, we'll say, hey, do you have any long-term care insurance protection? And the normal answer is going to be no, because 93% of people in America don't have any long-term care protection. And then we'll explain to them that, hey, in the event that you do need to try to qualify for long-term care, you have assets that are what we call countable, which means they're going to make you spend those assets down. And we would like to show you how to take some of those countable assets and move them over to the uncountable side, which we can help you protect the money from nursing home spend down. So the way this all fits together with National Guardian Life is we're going to take that financial protection of life insurance and we're going to blend that with an irrevocable funeral trust. We're going to tell the clients, you need to be setting that money aside now and setting it permanently aside for the future when you pass away. And then when we use the trust to hold that asset, we're effectively spending down that asset, and this could help prevent them from that money being counted when they go through the process of trying to qualify for Medicaid. So the trusts themselves with National Guardian Life, it gives a lot of benefits to your clients. It gives them protection from creditors. The benefits when they pay out are going to be 100% income tax free to the beneficiaries. The funds are available immediately. I'm going to share with you how important that is and why the funeral homes love this program. The trusts are free. So there's no cost to do an irrevocable trust with National Guardian Life. It's already set up to hold the asset. And to put that in perspective for you, I work with an elder law attorney here in the town where I have my other office. And this elder law attorney will be happy to do an irrevocable trust for you to help you protect assets. Just bring in a check for $7,500 and that's where the party starts. And then they'll go from there with you to help you protect your assets. Again, the trusts are going to be free with National Guardian Life. Everybody's going to qualify for the trust assignment. The death proceeds will pay the funeral expenses. They'll avoid probate costs and delays. And here's something that's really important. The funds are totally portable. And you might say to yourself, well, why would that be important? Well, if you have clients who are going in and doing prepays at a funeral home, and let's say they went in and did that and the funeral home burnt down, or it got bought out by another company, or God forbid the funds that were in there were pilfered by someone that worked at the funeral home. And I'm not saying that to have a bad light on funeral homes, but if you get on Google and Google funeral homes in your area, you're going to find ones that's happened to. And so what happens with these funds is because we're not naming a particular funeral home, they can be used at any funeral home in the United States. So as an example, if I had a client who I've worked with and their kids decided to take a job in Florida, and the grandparents are going to follow them down there because they want to be next to the grandkids, it doesn't matter that they bought the plan here in Ohio. That plan can be used at any funeral home across the country. So, sorry about that. So here is the, when we look at this, we're trying to get a yes in all of these columns. I'm not going to read every one of them to you, but just take a minute and look down through there. You can see that the irrevocable funeral trust is going to give us a yes, just in every column that we're looking for. So again, it's a product that's going to cover all the bases for us, and at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to get done for the client. So how does the trust work? If you've ever done single premium life insurance, I want you just to forget everything you know about that for a minute, because with traditional single premium life, you're going to give the company, say, $15,000, and they may give you a $20,000 death benefit and still give you access to your cash value. Well, that's not how it works with this plan. What we're trying to do is we're trying to protect the asset. So in our example, what would happen if we put $15,000 in, we may start with $15,500 death benefit. And then once we've bought that policy, the policy is then going to be assigned to the irrevocable funeral trust, where that death benefit is going to grow. It's going to earn simple interest credited daily. And that money's just going to continue to grow and grow until the time of need. And then what's neat with this program is when the client passes away, and we just had a claim in our office, so we're very well versed. We've been doing this a long time, so we get a lot of claims. But what we do is Kelly in our office will reach out to the funeral home that is going to be hosting the services. We'll get their fax number from them and their point of contact. Then she'll call National Guardian Life, give National Guardian Life that information, the client name, the policy number, and then at that point we are out of it, and National Guardian Life pays the funeral provider within 48 hours. No death certificate is needed because they're dealing directly with the funeral home. So those funds are at the funeral home within 48 hours, and then any excess funds have to be paid back to the estate. And the reason for that is once we put that money into the irrevocable funeral trust, we've given up incidents of ownership on that plan and to protect the money from Medicaid spend down. So anything that is left does have to be paid back to the estate. And normally that's not going to be a lot of money, because with the cost of funeral, you're really just trying to plan for the expenses the clients are going to need, and not necessarily, you know, if they tell you they're going to get cremated, well, you know, that's $2,500. You don't want to put $5,000 or $15,000 into this plan, because you know you're going to be sending $10,000 of that to probate probably, and we don't want to do that. So when we have our questions at the end, if you have any questions about that, you can certainly ask me. So there's two trusts that are offered through National Guardian Life. The Funeral Expense Trust, I'm going to talk about Ohio because that's where we do the majority of our business. We can put up to $15,000 into the NGL Funeral Expense Trust. This is going to give us that ability to exclude the asset from Medicaid and SSI if we're applying immediately. I would encourage you, if you don't have a relationship with an elder law attorney in your area, you should walk in and introduce yourself. Once you learn this product, tell them what you do. I've done that here in Columbus. I got 2 referrals last week from our elder law attorney, and the reason is he has a client who they're trying to apply for Medicaid rather quickly, and he knows that I can put $15,000 on each spouse into an irrevocable funeral trust and get $30,000 off the table immediately. So again, those funds are protected immediately. I showed you how that trust is going to pay those funeral expenses, and then the excess will go to the estate of the insured. Now they also have another trust. This is the estate planning trust. You can put up to $100,000 per person into this trust. The difference is it has a 5-year look back. So if you put that in there today, you know, 5 years from now on the 20th in 2024, that money would be 100% protected from a nursing home. Again, you can use those funds to pay funeral expenses. The difference is any excess funds are going to be returned to the beneficiary of the insured's estate. So when I do the academies that we were talking about earlier in the presentation, and I'm speaking, I always get the question from advisors, well, when do I use which trust? And so I'll break it down for you. The Funeral Expense Trust, it's great for crisis planning. So if you have somebody that they're trying to qualify for Medicaid, or they're just running through money like crazy paying for someone's care in a nursing home, it's great to be able to get money off the table immediately. Maybe Medicaid is possible within 5 years, so they're paying the bills and they've got the money to pay for the care of their loved one that's in a facility, but they're looking down the pike, and that light they see is the light of a train coming at them. Well, that's a good opportunity to be able to protect that money as well. I do a lot of public seminars to bring clients on, and when we do our initial consultation with the clients, we have a lot of them who, when we explain this to them, say, hey, you know what? I just want to put the money away now and have the assurance that the money's protected and that that money's going to be there for my death down the road. And they could be the healthiest person in the world, but they understand the value of getting the money away and getting it protected. The other one would be the Estate Planning Trust. And this is for a client where Medicaid is a non-issue now, maybe never. They're not going to face a nursing home stay. And they want to easily transfer a limited amount of wealth to their children or their charities. I have a couple teachers that I work with that we just got through the 5 years with them. They told me when I met them, I manage a lot of their money. They said, hey, John, we know we have a lot of money. We're never buying long-term care insurance, but we do want to take as much as we can and put it into this program. So the event something tragic would happen, that we've got at least that money protected from a long-term care stay. And again, we're through the 5 years with them. So they're really excited about that. And that's the real opportunity. That's where you can pick up some pretty big tickets into this plan. So the product that we use to fund the program is called the NGL AssetGuard. We're going to talk a little bit about using that product and then combining it with the funeral trust to give them that protection. I see we have a lot of people on the webinar today, so I'm sure you're from all over the country. I'm going to show you a slide with your state limits on it, and I'm going to talk to you a minute about that so that you understand that even if you're in a state with a low limit on the funeral trust, there's still a lot of opportunity to do business with National Guardian Life in this program. So again, I'm fortunate. You can see I'm here in Ohio, so I've got 15,000 I can put in the funeral trust. I can put 100,000 into the estate planning trust. It's a combination up to 100,000, and let me explain that to you. If I did a $15,000 funeral expense trust on a client last year, and we're doing a review this year, and they say, hey, John, you know, we like that estate planning trust idea. We want to put some money in there. We can now put 85,000 into the estate planning trust because they already have 15,000 in the funeral trust. So that gets us up to 100. If they didn't have a funeral trust and all they wanted to do was the estate planning trust, then obviously we could put up to $100,000 in there for them. But let's go take a look at a state that's not very nice to the product, which is Florida. So in Florida, you can't even sell the irrevocable funeral trust. They're not going to let you protect money day one. But if I lived in Florida, the need to have that protection and have that money set aside for a funeral is still very valid and very real. So I may say to the client, hey, look, you know, the state is really harsh on protecting money day one in an irrevocable funeral trust. But again, we both agree you're going to pass away at some time. So let's get the clock started ticking on the money, and let's get some money put into the estate planning trust, even if it's $15,000 to cover your final expenses. If you don't do it today, 5 years down the road, you're not going to be any better off. But if we put it in there today, 5 years down the road, that money's going to be 100% protected. So again, I would use that same theory if I was in Nebraska. I'd put that 4916 into the funeral expense trust, and then if they were wanting to put away 15,000, I would put the balance into the estate planning trust. So you know, I'd put the other $10,084 into there. So a lot of different ways to maneuver around it and to get the job done for the client, which at the end of the day, that's really the main goal here. So here's the expenses that are covered by the irrevocable funeral trust. So you can see just about everything that you're going to need to take care of at a funeral, even down to obituary notices, that you can use the funds in there to take care of everything. So for today's conversation, and because it's the only way that we do it in our practice, we're just going to talk about the single pay National Guardian Life AssetGuard. The minimum face amount is $500. Again, the maximum face amount would be that $100,000. You're going to pick the growth rate for your client that they will receive on the policy. I don't think there's a right or wrong with what you give your clients as a growth rate. You can choose from 0.25% up to 2.25%. I will tell you, here at Entingh Financial Services, we made a decision years ago. We were giving everybody 2% across the board. We felt that if we started giving different people different interest rates, that didn't look good to us or for us. So we just give everybody 2%. There's one health question on the application. Everybody's going to qualify. It's just going to be a matter, are they going to be a standard issue or a guaranteed issue? The single pay can be written from 0 to 99 years old. So you can see there's a wide open market. If you have elder clients who have grandkids, what a great conversation for them to put some money away in a plan for their grandchildren, get that money protected, and their grandchildren know it'll be there for the rest of their life. So again, 0 to 99 is our issue ages. The health question is just one. If your client answers it no, they're going to get a standard issue. If they answer it yes, they're going to get a guaranteed issue. But most importantly, you're not going to do a bunch of work and find out that you didn't get the client approved. So again, it's going to increase daily with simple growth. All single pays are immediate full death benefit. So if you put it into the plan and unfortunately they pass away 4 months after you did it, any bump that they got on the original deposit plus any growth that was credited simple interest daily is going to be paid out as the full death benefit. So I'm going to walk you back in time a little bit. One of the things, if you're on here and you're an annuity producer or a traditional life insurance producer, a long-term care producer, I don't really care what it is in our marketplace today. You know, there is a lot of paperwork. And so back in 1993, when I wrote my first annuity application, I was in a dry cleaner in Marion, Ohio, and two things happened that day. Number one, I couldn't believe someone would let me walk out of their business with a $25,000 check. And the second thing was, there was an application I did for the client, and it was 3 pieces of paper, and the last piece of paper was the receipt that I left with them. And as you know, today, if you're doing any sort of an application, it can be 30, 40 pages long. So if you don't like paperwork, you'll love doing business with National Guardian Life. It's literally 2 pieces of paper, your disclosure form, and your state replacement form, and you are done. It's a 15-minute application process from start to finish for your client, which they appreciate as well. So here's the first page of the application. You can see on here it's going to be all your basic information. Down here's where you're going to put what interest rate that you want them to receive. There's your medical question. I'll give you just a second to look at that because everyone always asks me to put it back up. So you can see there, if they're in any semi-decent health, it's going to be a no. But if it is a yes, that's okay. You've done a great service for them and you're still going to be able to get the deal done. You're going to have them sign at the bottom. You're going to sign off on it. There's a receipt. If you pick up a cash with app, you can leave them that receipt. There's the irrevocable assignment of ownership to the funeral trust. So again, it's very basic information. One thing I will tell you, if you see up here, this is an irrevocable assignment. And here's why I'm going to say that to you. Anytime I've done this with a client over 14 years, when I'm finishing my appointment, this is what I say to my client. Mrs. Jones, you understand this is irrevocable. It is never going to come out of here until you pass away. Don't call me and ask me to borrow off of it. Don't call and ask me to cash it in because you need the money. It is irrevocable and is never coming out of here till you pass away, but it will be here for your family when they need it the most. And that's it. I've never had a client ever call me in 15 years and ask me to borrow or cash this policy in. They know it's irrevocable. So typically with National Guardian Life, the process is once it's issued, 45 days after issue, they put the policy into the irrevocable funeral trust itself. But if you're dealing with someone who, like I am typically with the elder law attorney, where they're trying to get things done and maybe he's applying on June 1st for Medicaid, then we can waive to have that 45-day process eliminated and have the contract stuck in there immediately at issue so that it's protected. Again, that's if you're doing crisis planning. So a great program, but now it comes to the point you can be excited as you want, but you have to learn to present it to the clients. So I will tell you how I recommend any agent that's not been contracted with National Guardian Life. They'll say to me, well, do you have a lead program? And no, we don't have a mailer that generates leads, but you have one of the best lead programs around. and that's your annual review process, because chances are you've never talked to your client about this. So if it were me, I would start the conversation with, hey, Mrs. Jones, would you agree that all the advice I've given you in the past has worked out the way that I promised you it would? Well, the typical answer to that is going to be yes. And once that happens, then I'm going to proceed to say to the client, well, I've learned some new information and I brought myself up to speed on it, and it's something we haven't discussed, but it's really important that we discuss it and that we get it into place for you. And that's how I'm going to start that conversation. These are people that already know me, like me, and have done business with me and have said yes to me before. In the sales storm, that's a perfect scenario. So then I'm going to have to present it to them. I'm going to stress those benefits of planning ahead. I'm going to have asked them, have you prepaid your funeral? I'm going to explain to them that it can be used with any funeral home. I may even have a couple examples with me of funeral homes that have went out of business that took people's prepay money and now aren't there to back the promise that they made to them. Again, if you Google that, you'll find that in your area. And then this is a big one. And this is a true story. Before I started this webinar today, I just got off the phone with a client. They had come in to meet with me. It was a referral from the elder law attorney, but they had some old life insurance policies. Your clients don't understand that when they pass away, that they don't get both the cash value and the death benefit in 99% of the policies that are out there. So if you explain to them that, Mrs. Jones, you know, you've got $6,000 of cash value here, and your life insurance policy is only worth $7,000 if you die, then you really only have $1,000 worth of life insurance, because they're paying you back $6,000. That is your money that you could take out of there if you wanted to today. So, Ms. Jones, let me ask you a question. Should we leave the money in there, and in the event you get sick and go into a nursing home, they're going to make you spend all of that cash and you're not going to have anything? Or should we 1035 the cash value over into National Guardian Life and get that money protected for you immediately? If you can learn to present that, you will pick up a lot of 1035 exchange business on existing life insurance contracts. And then you got to close the sale. So the client's going to have that peace of mind of knowing that they've planned ahead and the funds are protected. Again, you know, we get paid in this business to write the deal, but if you do the review, you understand the product and how to present it, when you get to closing the sale, that's going to be the easy part, because you've already went over any objections that they may have given you, and now it's just a matter of finding the money to pay for the plan. So where do you find that money? The money's already there in the house. That's the beautiful thing of it. I'm not even afraid to tell a client that, hey, Ms. Jones, you know, if you really think about it today, we're not even buying anything, are we? I mean, really, we're not. We're taking money that you have in your CD, as an example, that's countable and will have to be spent down in the event you go into a nursing home, and we're moving it over here onto the uncountable side and giving you that protection and peace of mind for when you pass away. If you're an annuity producer, you know, I've written annuities, like I said, since 1993, and we've written a lot of annuities, and there's plenty of our annuities where we've got the 10% penalty-free withdrawal available, where if we're doing a review with a client and they haven't got this planning done, we're not afraid to say, hey, take your 10% penalty-free withdrawal out, pay the taxes on it, and start moving it over here to the non-countable side. So the annuity money is a great place to be able to pull those funds. I think the statistic is 94% of people who own annuities will leave it to the next generation. In other words, they're not even going to use it during their lifetime. What a great way to give them some good advice on how to protect the money. Tony, I think I can hear you on there. So your clients already have the funding. Again, it's not new money. So all you have to do is point out to them how to get it moved over to help give them that protection that they know they need. So when you're working with National Guardian Life, they have some really great brochures, and I consider a brochure to be great when it's this. When it's a trifold, And when it's in layman's terms, when my client opens it and they can read it and completely understand it, and National Guardian Life has done an exceptional job with that. We use the 2 brochures that are flanking that one in the middle. So we're using this funeral expense trust and this estate planning trust. I like to tell the story of this particular client that I met with. They had some policies with Nationwide Insurance. I went in, I met with them, and I'd already done business with them before, so this was a review that we were doing. And as I went through everything, and I said, you know, don't you think this would be a wise thing to do? And she said to me, well, John, we do, but you've done business with us before, and you know we don't make any decisions on the first appointment. And I said to her, well, you've done business with me before, and you know from me that I don't mind if you think something over, but the best time to make a decision is when it's fresh on your mind. So I'm going to call you tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and I want you to give me a decision one way or the other. Well, I left the brochure with her. I left. True story. The next morning, I'm in the office at 9 o'clock. That client called me. She said, hey, we took what you told us. We read back through the brochure. We want to set the appointment. We want to just go ahead and get the money moved over into the estate planning trust. So again, the brochures are a great way to keep that in front of the client, and also you can get these with your company information on the back of them. This is something that's really important. It's it's offered by National Guardian Life. It's a planning guide. And I was always taught in this business that when I close a deal, to always leave the client a task, because it keeps them engaged and takes that buyer's remorse down considerably. So I leave this with the client and I tell them that, hey, you know, had I had this in place when my father passed away, I could have walked into the funeral home, handed this and the policy to the funeral home director, and taken care of all my father's funeral stuff. And again, when they start going through this and they start filling it out, they're going to see that everything that's going to be asked of their loved ones that they're not going to be there to answer because they've passed away is all going to be written down with the policy, so that their family doesn't have to go through what I went through. At the last academy, I had a gentleman come up to me and say, man, I like that story about your dad. I mean, I'm sorry that you went through that, but I wish that was my story, because I'd share that with every client. And I told him, I said, well, it can be your story. Just tell them you have a good friend in the insurance business and tell them what happened to my dad. It's a true story, and this will solve that problem for families you're working with. So we'll talk a little bit about National Guardian Life. A great company. This is their niche. I mean, this is what they're good at. I've been doing business with them for 15 years. It's the only insurance company that I can tell you I've never had one issue with them. Not from getting a policy issued to getting a claim paid to getting paid commissions. It's flawless, and I really, really enjoy doing business with this company for that reason. They have a great website. Once you're appointed through Insurance Agency Marketing Services, you'll get a passcode to go on to this website. On here, they have everything from your daily commission reports. It's very easy to navigate. They have training videos. They have client-facing PowerPoint that you can download onto your screen at your office, or if you're using an iPad in the field, you can certainly download it onto there to help you walk more seamlessly through it until you get it down pat in front of your client. So again, you can order all your marketing materials, anything you need. This might be the most important thing, this number right here. If I was new and in the field, I would have this on my phone and I would have it marked as NGL support. You can be sitting in with a client, and if you have something you come across that you're just not 100% sure of, if you call their number, they're like Insurance Agency Marketing Services. They're going to pick it up by the third ring, and you're going to get to talk to a live person. So again, why would you sell the product? I've showed you the stats. Your clients need it. They're certainly thinking about it. It's a great income opportunity. The trusts are free. There's no fees. We always ask our clients, has anyone ever talked to you about this type of program before? We've never had anybody tell us yes. They've heard things from the funeral home to go in and prepay, but not that they could have control of it themselves. Those funds are totally portable. We're dealing with a great company that's going to be there when you need them most, and that's at the time when we need the money to take care of the funeral. Give your clients that peace of mind. And again, if you don't like paperwork, you're going to love doing business with National Guardian Life. So just to give you an idea on the compensation, I just said if you only worked 10 months out of the year, you were out doing reviews and you just had 2 couples a month that decided they wanted to do this, and they only did 10,000 each. So I'm just, I'm going off of the low end of things. So if that was the scenario and you were out representing this product, then if you look up here, I'm sorry, I want to go back there. It's going to add about $40,000 to your annual bottom line. How nice would it be to know that you can go out, you can add this to your portfolio, you can talk to all your clients about it, and for most of us running a business, that's going to take care of our annual expenses for our business. So again, it's another income leg to that income stool that we're all trying to build in this business. So here's the commission schedule. Again, I'm showing you at a 2% growth rate for the client. We'll come over here and say you're out doing a review and you're meeting with a 61 to 65-year-old. The commission on a standard is 13.31%. So in the event you were out there and you fully funded 2 of them, that's $30,000 at a 13.31% commission. That's almost $4,000 in commission for helping the client, number one, doing your review as we all should be doing, and taking care of the problem and also taking care of your business. So again, that's just to kind of give you an idea. If they were guaranteed issue, it's still 8.2%. I mean, look at these numbers. There's not many annuities that I know out there in the business today that are paying the commissions that you can earn with National Guardian Life. They do an annual sales conference. I've been on it. They do a tremendous job. The next one's going to be in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, March 4th through the 9th of 2020. I'll say this, and I say this on every webinar or anytime I'm presenting because I believe it to be true. Back when I was a young gun in this agent and I started making my sales conferences, I wasn't always at the top, but I made them, and all the people who were at the top were there. And what you'll come to find out, these are some of the nicest people that are happy to and eager to share their successes with you. So whether it's this or you happen to be at the IAMS sales conference, pick out those top producers that they announce and make it known who they are, and go up and introduce yourself. They'll be happy to share some time and some strategies with you. And again, that'll help you build your business moving forward. So some of the biggest challenges is getting comfortable with the concept. And when I sold my first annuity in 1993, I thought $25,000 was a big check for somebody to give me. Now, if they slide a $500,000 check across the table, we don't think twice about it. It's not because we're great, it's because we've been doing it a long time and just honing our skills and getting better at presenting the ideas. And again, we're going to stress the benefits of pre-planning and keeping it on the top of your mind. Every client, every day. It's a very simple question. Have you prepaid your funeral? It's yes or no. So what I did, I'm going to share this with you. I had a case, and gosh, I've lost track of time, but I'm going to say 6 or 7 years ago. We had a $500,000 annuity on a client. An elderly lady, she passed away. Her daughter called me. Her daughter said, "Hey, John, I wanted to let you know that mom passed away." I said, "Wow, I'm really sorry to hear that." I said, "But I have this annuity with her. So once you get through everything, give me a call and we'll get together." And she said, "Oh, John, don't worry about it. I've already talked to the guy down at the bank and he's going to help us with all that. He said he's not even going to charge us for it." And so what I quickly realized was I just lost a $500,000 annuity sale to the next generation, and I made a commitment that I wasn't going to let that happen to myself anymore. So I developed this guide for beneficiaries, and what we'll do is once you're licensed with National Guardian Life through IAMS, we'll make this available to you through the creative team so that you can brand it to your company information. But before I show it to you, I'll tell you what happened. We went out. The gentleman that works for me, I gave him a bunch of them and I said, "Hey, start going out and seeing every client and getting this in their hands." because along with this is a brand new financial data sheet where we collect all the information. And what we say to the client is, we're going to give you this beneficiary review guide. We're going to update all your financial information. If I'd never met you before and you passed away, I could walk in and pick up these 2 pieces of information and help settle your estate without ever meeting you. So once we collected that data, we would bring it back to the office, review it, talk about it, and then we came across a bunch of sales opportunities, because believe it or not, your clients, even your best clients, they do not tell you everything. Over a 6-month period implementing these guides, we picked up $1.5 million in annuity premium, 200,000 in single premium life, traditional single premium life, and then 150,000 in National Guardian life. Again, it wasn't because we're the smartest people in the world. It's just practice makes perfect, and we just continued to go out and see the people. So here's what it looks like. It's very simple. For help settling my estate, please call my advisor at Entingh Financial Services. Again, we're telling them, make sure your kids know where this is, because this is the first phone call that we want them to make. Inside of this, the first page is a letter from me to my clients. So this letter is really, you could do it verbatim and just, you know, do it on your letterhead and take my name out and put yours in. But every single client that we took this to, they could not been more appreciative of this guide that we were handing to them to make it easier on their family when they passed away. So in the rest of that guide, and we don't have it up here, is basically everything they need to do when someone passes away. There's copies of letters in there that need to be written to the pension plan, to the credit card companies, to Social Security. So we're giving them a layout of what has to be done when someone passes away. And then this is the financial organizer. So we're going to update all of their financial information for them. We want to know all the kids' information. We're even now getting the kids' email addresses. We don't have it on this one, but we're collecting those because those are the people that we're going to work with next. And so we're working on something now to start marketing to them. Here's the next page. Again, we're just trying to update everything. And when I say update, when we're doing this, when we get to up here to number 6 and we say, hey, do you have any profit sharing IRAs or pension plans? We don't just say that and let them say no. We ask them, do you have any 403Bs? Do you have any old 401Ks? And what happened is when we would ask those questions, they'd be like, oh, well, yeah, well, we have this old 401K at this company I work for that has $75,000 in it. Well, we don't launch into a sales pitch, but I guarantee you when we bring this back out to them, we're going to certainly have that conversation with them. And back here, if you see number 8, have you prepaid your funeral? If they say no, again, we're not launching into a sales presentation. This is just like an original basic fact finder. We're trying to find out everything we need to know to come back and present to them solutions that will help them. And again, this is just going to be the end of it. Everything that we need, even down to income. And over here it says what happens at death. You know, if she's not getting the husband's pension, we want to know that. That's called a planning opportunity in our business. And again, the last page we have in there for notes, and that's it. So that really gives you a high-level overview of National Guardian Life. If you have any questions, Tony, I think you're going to come back on. If they have any questions, you can pass those on to me.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
I can.
All right, cool. That wasn't me earlier, by the way. I was on mute. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm going to switch this back over to me.
Okay.
Here. Okay.
There we go.
All right. So I have my screen here. So any questions at all? Just checking to see if we have any. Hold on here.
Well, while you're looking at that, for
Okay,
questions.
I got it. All right, I've
Got
got
one?
one here. It
Okay.
says, what do you say for an objection about irrevocable?
Well, you know what? I plant that seed originally and I tell them why it's irrevocable and the benefits of it being irrevocable. And that's one of the first things we talk about because this is money that's being set aside for when they pass away. So that's why we're making it irrevocable is we want it to be there when they need it the most and at the same time get that protection from a Medicaid spend down. If they're giving you any balk at all about being irrevocable, you need to go back and maybe start your presentations by really highlighting that it's irrevocable. I like to get objections out of the way first. And if you feel that'll be one, then just address that right up front. And then look, it's like anything else. If they're just, oh, I can't live with irrevocable, well, you know what? Then maybe you're not a candidate for the program because it is going to be irrevocable.
Okay. All right, and let's see, got another one here. Is this just for lower net worth people?
No, it's not just for lower net worth people. What we have found out in our business is that high net worth people pass away also. And so we're not afraid if they don't have any type of planning done, then we're going to share this idea with them because even the higher net worth people realize the value of having that plan put aside. That guide I showed you that's offered from National Guardian Life where they can get everything written down of what they want to happen. You know, most of your people or high net worth individuals are very, what's where I'm looking, organized, the majority of them.
Right.
And this helps them to stay that way.
Okay, I got one more. And hang on. Can this be done using telesales?
It cannot.
Okay. And then I've got one that I can answer real quick that was asking if there would be a recording available. And yes, there will be a recording available here, and I will get that out to everyone once we get this downloaded. So I think that's it as far as the questions. So just have one more polling question here, and then we'll end this. Would you like more information on NGL and this product? I just had that poll sent out. Please answer that. And for those of you that would like additional information, we'll make sure to get that out to you. And while this is up, again, I will say if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call. Again, my name is Tony Butler. I'm the Life Sales Director here. You can reach me here at 800-255-5055, or you can send me an email at Tony, that's Tony, at IAMSinc.com. All right, I'm going to close this polling out. John, any closing thoughts at all?
Well, I just want to tell everybody that was on the call, I appreciate you taking your time out today. I know it's a Monday, and with the holiday week coming next week, I'm sure everybody's busy. I hope this helped you. Definitely take a hard look at National Guardian Life, and I'm certainly there to answer any questions you might have along the way.
Well, John, thank you for your time, and everyone that joined this webinar, thank you for your time. You guys have a great week. Take care. Bye.